Hello students, today we will see objectives type of questions or multiple choice questions which are very useful for basic agricultural students, horticultural students and ABM students also from the course Farm Machinery and Power. These objectives type of question or MCQ type of question is very useful for GATE exam, agricultural MPSC and other type of competitive exams. So we'll see one by one the questions on farm machinery and power. The first question is an average man, which is healthy human being, can develop maximum power of about. The options are 1 HP, 0.1 HP, 0.2 HP, and 2 HP. So you should know that the answer is 0.1 HP. Then the next is power developed by an average pair of bullocks. Pair of bullocks means two bullocks. It is about 1 HP is the correct answer for that. Then the third question is the average force a draft animal can exert or it can apply the force of its body weight. It is about 1/10 of its body weight. If we consider 200 kg is the weight of one bullock, then 1 upon 10th means 20 kg will be the force exerted by that draft animal easily. So 1/10 of its body weight is the correct answer. Then the next objective is thermal efficiency of diesel engine is about 30 to 38%. This is the correct answer. There are other options also, but you should remember that 30 to 38% is the correct answer. Then the next one is thermal efficiency of petrol engine is 25 to 32%. Then the next one is combustion of fuel takes place in that part of engine which is cylinder, and the cylinder is also known as the combustion chamber in which combustion of the fuel takes place. Then the next question is this part converts reciprocating motion of the piston into rotary motion of the flywheel, means reciprocating motion of the piston gets converted into the rotary motion, and the useful part is the crankshaft. Then the next question is the speed of crankshaft is exactly dash dash the speed of the crankshaft in four stroke cycle engine, and it is half of that. So half is the correct answer in this question. The next question is when the piston is at the top of its stroke, it is said to be, obviously it is said to be top dead center TDC. Then the next question is when the piston is at the bottom of its stroke, then it is said to be bottom dead center. These are also the definitions, or you can say this can be the fill in the blanks or objective type of questions. Then the process of removal of burnt or exhaust gases from engine cylinder is known as scavenging. It is very important that this process or the scavenging after the exhaust stroke, this process happens, the scavenging, the removal of the burnt or the exhaust gases. When the cycle is completed in one revolution of the crankshaft, when there is only one revolution of the crankshaft, then it is called as, or that engine is actually two stroke engine. And likewise when the cycle is completed in two revolution of the crankshaft, it is called as four stroke cycle engine or 4S engine in short. Compression ratio of diesel engine is about, or it changes from 14 as to 1 to 22 as to 1. Then the next question is compression ratio of spark ignition engine, that is petrol engine. It changes or it varies from 4 as to 1 to 8 as to 1. The thermal efficiency of diesel engine is about 30 to 38%. Then again The thermal efficiency of spark ignition engine is about 25 to 32%. You should remember all these things so that you can achieve the marks. Then the diameter of engine cylinder is called as a bore, or it is also called as a bore diameter. So shape diameter, crankshaft diameter, or diameter of the flywheel, these are the wrong answers. Then the next question is, it is the linear distance traveled by the piston from top dead center to bottom dead center. It is a linear, means straight distance, and it is called as a stroke length. And you should know that the stroke length is denoted by capital L. Then the ratio of stroke or stroke length and diameter of bore or bore diameter or simply bore, it is denoted by D of the cylinder, means L upon D. Simply it is stroke bore ratio. In general, stroke bore ratio means L upon D changes from 1 to 1.45 for all types of engines, and generally for tractor engines it is 1.25. And also generally for tractor engines also, stroke bore ratio or L upon D varies about 1 to 1.25. Then the volume contained in the cylinder above the top of the piston, which is known as the clearance volume. In the clearance volume, combustion of the fuel takes place, or compression of the charge also takes place, and the combustion of your fuel takes place, and the power stroke happens. Then the next question is the total horsepower developed by all cylinders and received by pistons without friction and losses within the engine, means there is no loss in that power which is actually generated during the power strokes, and which is developed inside the combustion chamber and received by the piston, which is known as indicated power, or when it is measured in horsepower, it is called as IHP, indicated horsepower. Simply indicated power, it is indicated power. The power delivered by the engine at the end of the crankshaft, means there are some friction losses also, but the power is actually received at the end of the crankshaft. That power is known as brake horsepower, or simply it is a brake power. The power of the engine measured at a pulley receiving drive from the PTO shaft of the tractor, it is simply known as belt power. Then there is next question is that it is the power delivered by tractor through its PTO shaft, power takeoff shaft, and then it is known as PTO power. Then the next questions are the power required to run the engine at a given speed without producing any useful work, means there is no any useful work is produced because of this, because this is actually used, this is actually used to overcome the frictional losses. That's why it is called as FHP, means frictional horsepower, or simply it is known as frictional power. Then the next is piston displacement is the volume displaced by one stroke, or which is also stroke length, which is denoted by capital L of the piston, is known as the swept volume. Then in the next question, you should understand the difference between swept volume and the displacement volume. The total swept volume means displacement volume is also the swept volume, but it is the swept volume of all pistons during power stroke occurring in 1 minute. Means if there are four cylinders and there will be four pistons, then there may in 1 minute, means you can say in 60 seconds, there may be four power strokes, six power strokes, or more than that. It depends on the engine speed. And during that strokes, whatever may be the total swept volume of all pistons during power stroke occurring in 1 minute, or in 60 seconds, it is that total swept volume is known as a displacement volume. And swept volume is just Actually, the piston displacement is the volume displaced by one stroke, means one power stroke. One stroke means one power stroke of the piston, and which is known as the swept volume. Then the next question is the ratio of brake horsepower or brake power to indicated power is known as a mechanical efficiency. Then there are some questions on MB plow or primary tillage or primary tillage implements like the rear bottom end of the land side. Rear means the back side or back bottom end of the land side is known as a heel of land side. Then also you should know that where the radiator is used. So radiator is a component related to cooling system. It is not related to fuel supply system or lubrication system or the thermal system. Then the tilt angle and this angle, those are related to disc plow. So that for good plowing, the tilt angle is about 15 degree to 25 degree, and the disc angle it should be 42 degree to 45 degree. Then it is used to connect and disconnect the engine power from engine or its power transmission link. The clutch is used for that purpose. The part of the plow bottom to which shear, MB, that mold bowl, land side, and all other parts are attached, that part of the plow is called as a frog. And the device to remove soil that tends to stick the working surface of the disc. This part is available with the disc plow or disc harrow, and that is actually the scraper. The part of the plow which slides against the furrow walls and gives lateral stability in the plow, that part is called as a land side. Then the next objective type of questions are, we'll see, machine used to cut grain crop is called as a reaper, and there is also other machine which is used to cut grass crops. Grass crop, it is mower, actually mower. When it is when the objective is like that, machine is used to cut the grass crops or lawn type of things, then the C will be the answer, mower will be the answer. But in this case, the machine used to cut the cereal crops or grain crops, reaper is the answer. The part of the plow bottom which penetrates actually into the soil and makes horizontal cut below the surface, which is shear or point of shear or shear point, or it is shear. Then the process of preparing air fuel mixture which takes away from the engine cylinder is known as a carburation. And the part in which carburation process takes place means air and fuel mixture is prepared inside that part, that is called as a carburetor. And carburetor is only present in spark ignition engine or petrol engine, which is absent in diesel engine. Then the next question is, it supplies the fuel to the injectors at a correct time in the engine cycle according to the firing order. It is a fuel injection pump. This will be the correct answer. Then the next objective is the sequence in which power stroke in each cylinder occurs or takes place, which is known as a firing order. Then the next question, the device which injects the fuel into a combustion chamber. Combustion chamber is also known as a cylinder, and that device is a fuel injector, or it is also called as a fuel atomizer. Then the next question, the device which cleans and filters the air before entering the combustion chamber of an engine, which is known as a air cleaner. Then in this type of the tractor there is endless chain or track in place of place of pneumatic wheels. That tractor is known as a track type of tractor or chain type of the tractor. This tractor is walking type of the tractor and usually fitted with two wheels only, and we know that it is a power tiller. There are many other options are given, but you should learn the proper options so that you should go through the books properly. This tractor is used for major farm operations such as plowing, sowing, harvesting, and transporting works. It is a general purpose tractor. Many times it is asked. This question is asked for the exam. This tractor is used for furrow crop cultivation, and it is a row crop tractor. Then this type of a tractor is used for definite jobs like cotton fields, then marshy lands, hillsides and garden, where actually the special purpose tractors are used. The track or chain type of tractor is will not be useful. General purpose also will not be useful, and row crop also not useful for that. So special purpose tractors are used for that purpose. Then we'll go into the cost of operation of the tractor or farm machinery. The loss of value of machine with passing of time, which is not the fixed value, which is a depreciation. The loss of value of machine with passing of the time, which is known as depreciation. A device joins both half axles of the tractor so that even if one wheel is under less resistance and the tractor comes out from the mud, etc., as both the wheels move with the same speed and apply equal tractions. For that purpose, differential lock works. So differential lock is very important when your tractor is working in mud or in rainy season. Then there is also one another type of question which is missing here, but you should know that this type of clutch is very popular in tractors. So frictional clutch is very useful in the tractors. Then this mechanism controls the speed of engine. The governor controls actually the speed of engine. Then this field operation opening the upper crust of the soil, breaking the clods, making the soil suitable for sowing seeds. This type of operation is known as a plowing operation. The curved part which leaves turns the furrow slice is known as mold bolt. Then the next question is which plow is used to get a depth, more depth means 50 to 100 centimeter or more than that. The so subsoiler is used for this purpose. Then the forward end of cutting edge which actually penetrates into the soil, it is a shear point or the shear or point of shear. The vertical face of the shear which slides along the furrow all is known as gunnel of shear. The edge of the shear which forms joint between mold bolt and shear on the frog is known as cleavage edge. Then some of two ways plowing have a single bottom, but the provision is made to change the direction to throw of furrow slice at the end of the plot where bullocks turns or maybe tractor can turn. That plow is known as turn rest plow.